Now for my personal opinion, if
Okay.
you're okay with that. I
Please.
don't believe pornography is good for most relationships. I don't choose it. I don't think it's helpful because it's produced. It's like Cheetos, the snack Cheetos from
Hmm.
Frito-Lay. They got
Yeah.
a bunch of scientists together in a room and said, okay, what parts of the brain light up when they eat certain things? And it's sugar and fat and crunch. What can we do
Okay.
to optimize high sugar, high fat, right amount of crunch, produce a snack that's super cheap that we can sell for high margins,
Hmm.
and it has low nutritional value as a result, right? If your diet is on Cheetos, which by the way, your brain's like, I like that. Oh, I want more of that because it's lighting up the pleasure centers in your brain, right? So
Yeah.
just because it's our survival mechanism. If you're starving, then you'd go for high fat, high sugar foods because that's what our brains need. So we're very adapted to certain kinds of things, but it's ultra concentrated. So now you're
Hmm.
eating Cheetos as your diet.
Hmm.
That's not gonna help you nutritionally. So
Yeah.
in a way, porn is like the Cheetos of sex, where it's highly like these people on screen. They don't share bills together. They're not raising kids together. They're not. They're not.
You may not
They
even
don't
know who
have
it is.
everyday regular challenges together. They're not invested in each other. Right? There's.
Yeah.
It's not. It's. This is Cheetos. It's a
Yeah.
diet. So part of it is. So that's a part of it. Just understanding that when people choose to, you can get a sexual gratification out of watching porn.
Hmm.
It can be very gratifying, but it's a low cost
Right.
for high sexual arousal. Where in a real relationship, that's not real life. It's actually easier to get off on porn than it is with your spouse because with your spouse, first of all, you have to be connected emotionally. You have to
Yeah.
make sure you've talked about your day. Like so many barriers. I'd rather
Yeah.
go watch porn and masturbate. That's the easy way out, at least to get my
Right.
fix. But there's going to be an emptiness and hollowness in it because the porn's never going to love you back. It's not going to ask you about your day. It's not going to invest in you and care about you. So there's something about building a real relationship that's like
Hmm.
the Brussels sprouts or the green beans or the salads or the
Yeah.
real nutrition. So you
Yeah.
got to make sure their diet's on that. And then the other opinion I have is the industry itself is very suspect. Most of the actors in it, they say they're liberated. And I just listened to a few former porn stars just share their story getting out of the industry. Most of them are on drugs. Even the high paid ones, they make a lot of money, but they spend even more on illegal drugs just to get through scenes. They feel
Oh,
very
yeah.
numb to themselves. It's a very cutthroat industry, and the
Yeah.
demands of like pushing the boundaries keep getting higher and higher and higher, so there's
Wow.
less freedom in it and people in it feel stuck. This
Yeah.
is how they make money, this is what they know, but getting out of it, they feel trapped in it. And so I don't want to support an industry that's dark, that's
Yeah.
full of a lot of things.
Yeah.
But that's my opinion. You're welcome to have your opinion, and it's
And
okay
no,
if
I
it's
think
different than mine. But
yeah.
I think I wouldn't recommend a couple sit down and watch porn together if that's how they want to build a better relationship long term.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's very interesting what you said. And I guess it is to each his own. And if they have those conversations together and decide, hey, once in a while, let's make this part of like a special night or something we do fun, I think that's fine. But I agree with you on like as an everyday thing or part of your sexual lifestyle. I think that's very hard to sustain that, or and you do go through those moments of, I'm sure, jealousy, like so many different things probably go through your mind that's creating more of a wedge between you than it is bringing you together. So I welcome your opinion. I think it's good. I think it can be fun sometimes, but I'm not a big porn fan. So I get that.
Well, go make your own with your partner and watch
That's
that. I
right.
think
Make
that'd
your
be a
own
lot
porn
harder.
video, right? Just hide your face.
Don't share it with the world. It's just for you two. But that can be very
Exactly.
erotic, very, and it probably give you
Lovely.
the kind of the punch you're after anyway.
Yeah,
But
it's a great
or go do a
substitute.
role play together. Do a role play date or do
Yeah. Yeah.
something like go out in the woods or out in the canyon or at a lake at night and just be a little naughty.
Easy.
Of course, check your laws, make sure you're not doing anything illegal. That I think
Yeah.
will pack a
That's
bigger
very true.
punch for erotic fuel for your relationship.
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
something cheap. That's my opinion.
That's great. Do you train much on role play stuff? I don't ever hear much about it. I tend to ask it a lot in my would you rather question if people would rather
Huh?
have blindfolded surprises or playful role play. And it's usually 50-50, but a lot of people are like, I don't know, the role play. I've never done role play. I think it's intimidating. I don't know
Andrea,
why.
you are missing out.
You're missing out.
You're missing out. It can be so fun.
But like, what's the top people that you would role play? I mean, is it always like I'm being robbed and they come in the door and I'm like, that's how I think of it, or a nurse and a patient, kind of thing. Is that
Yeah.
what you think?
So every person's going to have their preferences, but okay. All right. We can't talk about role play without talking about the yin and the yang first. So
Okay.
let's go there real quick.
Yeah.
In any good sexual encounter, you're going to have polarity. Polarity is like positive pole, negative pole. The stronger the strength of different poles,
Yeah.
the greater the attraction, right? A strong magnet is very attracted to the opposite pole.
Yeah.
So role plays all they are is just exaggerating the masculine or the feminine or the yin and the yang pole. Just think about it that way.
Okay. I like
So,
it. Yeah.
I got a haircut. My wife cut my hair
Mm-hmm.
the other day. She cuts my hair.
Okay.
She comes out. Okay. She comes out in lingerie to cut my hair, right?
Yeah.
We're in the bathroom. The door's locked, right? And I'm surprised, right? This is great.
So you had no idea.
What's fun?
Went out like
No, this is a surprise, right?
okay.
And then she starts saying, like, I have a very exclusive customer list, and I'm surprised you made the customer list. Do you see? This is a role play.
Yeah.
She's stepping into a character of being a hairdresser.
Yeah. Sexy hair.
Only a very sexy hairdresser that does her hairdressing in lingerie.
Yeah.
And she demands a tip after it's done. Right? Like, do you see how we're having fun? We're playing in this, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So this is role play, but it's polarity. She's stepping into an exaggerated dominant role, and I'm stepping into an exaggerated submissive role in this. Because, quote unquote, I'm tied down. I'm not really tied.
Yeah.
I can't do anything about it. I just have to receive her overt sexual advances, and there's nothing I can do about it in our play. Yeah. And that is really hot for both of us because that's the way we play.
Yeah.
So
that's such a great example, Dan, because see, in my mind, like I said, I've never done it. So in my mind, it's like the very specific, like the knock at the door and yes, doctor, come in. To me, that seems so cheesy and like, are we really doing this? But the way you said it is you're taking things that you do in your everyday life thing and you're spicing it up. You're just making it a little bit different, And so I think that kind of role play is you've changed my mind on this, on the way I'm thinking about it. And like, oh, okay, I see how you're doing that. You take things that you might enjoy doing and changing it up a little bit and making it like a role play. So I think that's exciting. More so than
so Andrea, for you, if I can put you on the spot just a little bit, in your sexual relationship, your best top peak sexual experiences, are you more of the person calling the shots, like more the dominant role, or do you enjoy being more the submissive role? Like, how about you?
More dominant.
Great. So in your play, you would be better off as the doctor, not the patient.
Yeah, I would.
Because that's the way you tend to gravitate towards in your relationships. So your role play would be better off if you're the female doctor. He was expecting a male doctor, not a female doctor, right? You come in, you have your clipboard, and you're going to tell him exactly what he needs to do next. And because you're the doctor, you're in charge, and he's the patient. He has to listen to. I don't care if he makes $1 billion a year. You're the doctor, and he's the patient, so he's got to listen to you. Do you see how that's now we're talking about polarity here? that
Yeah.
is
So
a
you
role
got to
play
know
that you
who you
both can
are.
engage in.
Yeah. So you got to know really what trends you want, who you are and what will work for you, because that may not have worked as being, as doing it the way you did it. It just depends on who you are and how you partake in that kind of activity, right?
Right, right, right.
Interesting. I like
We
it.
did
I
another
like
role
it.
play
Oh, I'm glad you
once.
asked that question.
We did another role play once where our kids were like at grandma's house or something. We had an empty house, which
Yeah.
was really rare for us. So we're gonna have
For
just be
six
at home.
kids. Yeah.
And so we got this date idea. It's not our own. We got this particular one online. A fantastic website called Faithful Fling.
Oh,
Faithful Fling. They come up with role play sexy dates for couples.
ooh, I like this. Okay.
So anyway, she's a realtor coming to my
Huh?
house. I'm selling my house. And she's a very
Okay.
assertive top listing agent in the area coming to
Uh-huh.
convince me that I need to hire her as my listing agent to sell my house.
Okay. Okay.
And do you see how that's also about role play dynamics, right?
Yeah.
She's going to be more assertive in this role play. She's going to be more like, this is what we're going to do. And she
Yeah.
tested every single bed, tested every single couch, tested even the washer, made sure she saw the,
Wow.
you know, like, take me to the garage. You got a lot of tools here. That's good. Like, she's dropping hints left and right through
Yeah.
everything. And it was
Yeah.
smoking hot. Do you see
That's
how
awesome.
like role plays can they can be more scripted like the realtor visiting. They could be more impromptu like a haircut, or
Hmm.
they can just be in bed just looking at each other and goes like, you want this, don't you? And
Yes.
just
And
the,
being
the
submissive,
tease.
dominant.
That is a
Yeah.
role play, right? That's the
Yeah.
play. You're playing in a particular
Interesting.
role. We're going to exaggerate the yin or the yang, or the
Mhm.
female or the male, the female,
Yeah.
feminine, masculine. That's what you're just
And it's
exaggerating.
almost like creating your own porn, like we just talked about. So instead of watching other people do the porn, you're creating your own, because that's what a lot of that is, right? Is the role play all the time. Every time I've
It
seen it,
is.
it's like, the girl that comes over to like babysit the kids and you know what I mean? It's like always
Oh, right,
something
right.
like, so why not just create your own? It's kind of the same thing, right? It's like
Exactly.
fun to
Or she
try.
calls the plumber and he shows up 1 minute later. Like, that's not real life.
Real life is the hours later with the
Yeah,
ass
like 2 days
scratch.
later, finally return your phone call.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, that's funny. So, okay, so to kind of reignite relationships that have been maybe dwindling over time for a little bit, like what would be some practical tips for reigniting the sexual connection that you could give?
It always starts with the small things, I think. Do you like each other? Do
Mhm.
you want to invest in each other? Do you care about each other?
Yeah.
Do you want to go out and just have fun? I think we kind of
Oh,
get so
building it.
lost in the mundane and the pressure and the stress. We forgot how to have fun together. At the beginning of
Yeah.
the relationship, you knew how to have fun. You'd have fun all the time. You
Yeah.
forget that. So
Oh,
make
back to that.
date night is a time not where you go grocery shopping together. Date night is
Yeah.
not a time to balance the checkbook. Date night is when
Right.
you're supposed to have fun. Do all your
Yeah.
other stuff that you need to get done other times, but this is a safe
Yeah.
container. Even if it's just for an hour, we're going to have fun doing something we
Yeah.
both enjoy. So you don't
Yeah.
have to spend a lot of money, but just
No.
do something fun. And I think
And it's
that's the
respect space.
foundation for these things. It's
Yeah.
that friendship, and build that friendship, be good friends for each other, love each other, care for each other, start to
Yeah.
cherish each other. And I think the rest starts to follow suit.
Nice. So what about if there's been some sort of betrayal or distrust within your marriage? Is there a way to bring
Yes.
back that closeness? That's
Yeah.
tough one.
First thing, you have to address it. You can't pretend that it doesn't exist and it'll just go away on its own. If you have resentments towards your spouse, you need to
Yeah.
address them. I
So lay it
resent
all
that
out.
my spouse comes home late or chooses video games over me or is totally fine oversharing with her best friend, but doesn't talk to me about things, or whatever your issue is, you need to address it. And you can address it with a lot of kindness.
Mhm.
And I think for bigger issues, hire a coach or a therapist.
Right.
That's good. Now, there's a lot
Mhm.
of junk therapists out there, so
Yeah.
avoid the bad ones.
Yeah.
But hire someone good that ask for a free consultation just to
Yeah.
get to know them. You might have to go through 3 or 4 to find a good one. Ask for
You feel
recommendations.
comfortable with.
Right. And the way laws are set up for most states, if you're going to go through traditional therapy and hoping like insurance will cover it, you have to go with someone licensed.
Mm.
But if you can pay cash, then you can work with a therapist out of state. So it may not be in your area, but someone
Yeah.
who's like really good, who works online, like over Zoom. And by state laws, you're not allowed to treat people out of your state. So they get around it by calling themselves a coach instead of a therapist. Because in a coaching relationship, I am not diagnosing mental illness. I'm not giving you things like that. I'm here to coach you through your relationship. So that's how we kind of get away those. So I am a coach because I put myself in that category. But get yourself a really good coach that won't put up with your nonsense and really help
She's
both
great.
of you work together step by step to create a relationship you actually want to be in. And I've worked with so many couples that have so much better after working with, me or through my process or whatever,
Yeah.
that their relationships are better. And I have a page on my website where I list some of their testimonials and videos of some of them. And
Yeah.
it can make a real difference getting some help because you can't fix what you can't see.
Yeah.
So a good coach, well, it's like shining a light in the dark corners that you've always wanted to avoid. But now we're going to deal with it. Actually, it's not that scary. Yeah, we have a few cobwebs, some things to clean up, but actually, it's not that bad. Now that we know what's there, we know what to address. We know our patterns now. We know what triggers us. We can actually work through this. We have more tools. We're better equipped. It really moves you forward in your relationships.
Interesting. And so, and it's getting to, it's a process, right? Because you got to take it little by little. There's going to be a lot of hurt and anger, I'm sure. So you got to work through that before. It's hard to be intimate with somebody that you have resentment or you're angry at, or you feel betrayed. So you got to get past that. And then you can get to the good stuff. But it's possible.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I love that. Oh my gosh, this is so much good stuff. So before we're done here, what are 1 or 2 small, consistent habits that couples can contribute to keeping their intimacy alive? I know you talked about just communication, having the little date nights, things that don't make them feel overwhelmed in the beginning. Just a little takeaway for the listeners, even if it's repeating what you said before.
I think gratitude goes a long way. And expressing it is one thing, but you can always say something. Hey, thanks for dinner. Thanks for unloading the dishwasher, whatever you want to say. But it's a different thing to like feel it in your body first and then express it. There's a difference. So it's more of a mindfulness tip than anything, but just being more mindful of gratitude you can have. Let me share with this story, and it's a tragic story. My wife's cousin lives in Florida. She's 29 years old, has 3 kids, 8, 4, and 1, and she goes running with a bunch of friends every Monday morning. They go to a park with jogging trails, so she puts the little kids in the jogging stroller, and they chat and have fun and go jog for a while and then comes home. So this Monday in May, she finishes the run, puts the kids in their car seats, puts the stroller in the back of the car, and she's driving home. She comes to an intersection, and a drunk driver runs through the red light in the opposite direction and T-bones her, and she dies instantly. 29 years old, 3 little kids. It's tragic. It's horrible.
They all died.
The children lived. The children are fine. Mom was killed instantly. So what, in my mind's eye, I want to picture, like, let's rewind back to Sunday night. Let's pretend it's Sunday night. Kids are in bed, husband and wife. They're at the sink brushing their teeth together. I wonder what their conversation was like that night. I don't know. I have no idea. But what if they knew that was going to be their last night together? Would the quality of the conversation have been anything different? Totally would have, right? If you knew that today was going to be the last day with your spouse, with your loved one, would you treat them a little bit differently today? Probably.
So why wait?
I don't mean to be grim about this, but there's something about death and endings that conjure up cherishing. That's when you realize nothing in life is guaranteed. You're not entitled to happiness. You're not entitled to all these things, and everything that you have is actually a gift. So treat your loved one as a gift. Hug your spouse or your partner. bring them close, cherish
Yeah.
them, love them, because you never know. Today might be the last day. Something could happen, and you just never know.
Yeah.
That, I think, having that attitude. Now, when you say thanks for unloading the dishwasher, that takes on a whole different level of meaning. It's not about just gratitude, like just to say it, to check it off the list. It's like, I'm grateful you're in my life and you want to do things to make my life better too. And that means something to me. I really appreciate that. I'm better off because of you. That's the attitude.
Perfect. I love that. What a great way to end that conversation. That could have been more perfect. Thank you for sharing that story. That's very sad. Very sad. So tell everybody where they can find you. I mean, my goodness, give us your social media handles, whatever you want to give out, and I'll put it in the show notes as well, but let us have it.
Thank you. My website is getyourmarriageon.com. I primarily work with married couples in midlife or about the empty nester stage, like in between there, that really want to get their marriage to the next level. And my Instagram is also Get Your Marriage On. And then you'll find my apps. My main app is called Intimately Us. So you'll search the App Store for Intimately Us. My other app is called Just Between Us. Those two are my main apps. So if you download those apps or search for those or go to my website or my Instagram, you'll find me there.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing that. Before you go, I'd love to play a little game called For Mrs. to Ms. Would You Rather? I have.
All right, here we go. We do. That's kind of heavy, wasn't it? All right.
It's okay. I got us here. Okay. All right. You ready? Here we go. Number 1. Would you rather work with a couple struggling with mismatched libidos or one dealing with unresolved resentment?
What's the difference? Because they're resentful about the mismatched libidos. Mismatched libidos. Yeah. It's all the same kind of work to me.
Number 2, would you rather help couples rediscover the thrill of slow seduction or dive into the excitement of spontaneous passion? Which way would you head? Or both again?
Ooh, wow. I'd say slow seduction if I had to pick.
It's hot, right? Like that is
Yes, slow. Take it slow.
I mean, you both. Like you can throw somebody up against a wall and you can have a great time right there. You know, there's something about that, but slow too. It's pretty good.
Right.
And number 3, would you rather coach a couple on how to balance naughty and nice in public or how to bring out their boldest sides in private?
Boldest sides in private, I think would much rather coach
Big
that
PDA
too.
girl. PDA. I don't mind a kiss here and there, but beyond that, I'm like looking or I can't even. That's too much.
Yeah, it can be a distraction for sure. But I gotta say, there is something about human eroticism about, for some people, others not so much, but it's the forbidden is the draw.
Yes.
Like
it is.
It's the
You're
naughtiness
exactly
of it makes it exciting. So like we might get caught and that's what gives it a thrill. It's so,
High Club,
but you can experiment with that, boldly in private too. So
yeah. Good point. Good point. All right. Number 4, would you rather fall for someone who makes you laugh uncontrollably or someone who gives you butterflies every time they walk in the room?
Butterflies every time they walk in the room.
Yeah, something cool about that. Number 5, would you rather laugh your way through a sexy board game or spice things up with role play? Here's my question.
Oh, wow. That's a tough one. I want both.
They're all fun. It's all fun stuff.
We played some board games where we just laughed ourselves through. We just had so much fun. My goodness, that was so fun. It's not because the sex was hot. It was a funny experience. We just laugh about it.
Yeah, you find out new stuff, right? You didn't know. All right, Number 6, would you rather have the ability to read your partner's mind during sex or be able to control their sensations with just a touch?
Ooh, read their mind for sure. That'd be great.
I don't know. I want to know what they're thinking. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. That is dangerous territory, but man.
It is dangerous.
Yeah. At least I'd be more empowered. I can read their mind. Okay, now I know where to go next or whatever.
Exactly. That's the good part. All right, number 7, trying new positions or mastering the old ones.
These are tough questions. I have to pick one or the other. Try new positions if I had to pick.
Yeah. Trying new positions is fun, but it's hard because then you get yourself in a spot where there's an expectation to raise the bar and have something new every time. Right. So you got to
Hmm.
balance, I think. Maybe
Yeah,
throw
there
one
is
in.
that balance.
Yeah.
You're right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
That'd be better. Number 8, would you rather experiment with a fun sex toy or try out a daring new location?
These are tough questions. I have to pick. I can't say
I
both.
mean,
How
just
about a
today.
daring new location with a new sex toy?
Oh, I like that. Or
There
use
you
a
go.
sex toy in a daring new location.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, there you go.
Right.
Yep.
Number 9, would you rather teach partners how to build tension all day long with subtle hints or how to instantly turn up the heat when the moment's right?
I say build up tension slowly throughout the day
Yeah,
to turn up the
that's
heat.
great. Uh,
Yeah.
the thought of going home to that, like building it up all day and someone waiting for you at home, that's
Yeah,
good
that's
stuff.
really good.
Good. Number 10, slow dancing in the living room or spontaneous dance moves in the kitchen.
Spontaneous dance moves. I don't know. Both. Both. I
Depends
like
on the
both.
moment.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like both. But
Are you and Emily like that? You break into dance every now and then?
well, yeah, with our kids especially, like turn on the
Yeah.
music and we'll all dance, during kitchen cleanup or whatever. But then
So fun.
then a romantic song I gotta say that over again. A romantic song comes on and I take
Yeah.
my wife to the living room and we dance and our kids
Whoa.
like, Mom, Dad, stop it. Ew, gross.
Dude, bro.
You know?
That's so
Yeah.
funny. It's still the same
And I,
way.
I twirl her around and I dip her and whatever. Like,
Yeah, get your kids.
yeah,
I
my
love
wife loves
that.
that kind of stuff. I love it too.
Yeah.
And the kids. So yeah, it's all
Oh,
good.
that's
Both needed.
awesome. Yes, most needed. So thank you for playing that game. That was fun. I love your answers. I get to find out something new about somebody. So I love having you, Dan. This has been so great. So much great information and a lot for the listeners to take away. So I really appreciate you being here. That's been amazing, amazing. And I will again have all of your information in the show notes so people know where to find you. And to the listeners out there, be bold, be brave, go after it, try it out. And so thank you for listening. You can find me on any major streaming platform. You can email me at info@from Mrs. to Ms. with any questions, comments, suggestions. And we will talk to you guys next week. You have a great one. Bye.
Great.